Okay, great. So today it's going to be pretty straightforward. We have a few standard housekeeping things, go over a little bit about our April and May badges, go over take action projects, talk a little bit about end of year party, and finish up with cookie wrap up. Okay, I have a new meeting rule. This is just to help us with recordings for people who are watching us, and also with our help for the closed captioning that is added, that we want to make sure that everyone is raising their hand if they want to ask a question or comment. You can see in the picture here how to do that on your end. And that way I can see who is asking questions and can call on you. Okay, so let's dive right in. If you remember from last month, we have a new deadline for our reimbursements and mileage, which is the first of the month. So you'll want to get everything wrapped up. We want you to send us scanned receipts and mileage routes. So to and from where you are going from your house to places outside of your main school sites that you go to. And for our scanned receipts, I have to make an important note because accounting will give me a hard time. Be sure to be giving your receipts to us in that month that things were purchased. If you gave us old receipts from the month before, accounting's questioning why you didn't turn it in at the appropriate time. So always make sure, just make it a rule of thumb to turn in your receipts, as soon as you buy something, and make sure you're getting approved to buy something before you do that. Okay, next things, just friendly reminders. Every troop meeting, we want to make sure you're taking attendance via VTK, class dojo, band. Oh, I wrote that twice. That's okay. So any of those that you have approved from your island coordinator, to make sure you're taking attendance so we can always review it at any time. And with that, always making sure you're taking pictures throughout the troop meeting and uploading that to Google Photos or emailing it to your island coordinator. Okay, time cards. So as you already know, they're due Sundays weekly. We have the link hyperlinked here. Important note that accountant needs to remind me about is you need to put it in 15-minute increments. So that's 5:15, 5:30, 5:45 and on. So if you ended work at 5:42, just round it up. And that's what they want to see. Otherwise, we are correcting it on our end. And as a friendly reminder, we are having to approve as soon as we start on Monday. So we want to see those timesheets all ready for us to approve for our county to finish up. So set an alarm for Sunday morning for some of you who might be having a hard time. And as always, you should have already done March's monthly report. We have the hyperlinks here for your use. I do want to remind you, when you're completing your monthly report and it asks you, what did you do in that meeting? I want you to make sure you're summarizing and adding in anecdotes of what the girls have said about what you did. If they had really enjoyed something or learned something, you want to add that all into your monthly report to give a lot of information to our fund development group. And just remember, it's always due 5th of the month. Okay, any questions? Put a hand up if anything. But those are pretty standard. And just let me know afterwards if anything, if you need more assistance in those areas. Okay, badge resources. We just finished up our forensic badge. I'll be doing my last week this week with our troops. For Oahu, we did fingerprint balloons. We did footprints. We did a laser obstacle course with streamers, and we played the secret agent book. All of the girls really loved that. And so that was for part one. And part two, we did fingerprint dusting, had fun with some invisible ink, made a periscope, and made a disguise. Are there any questions or highlights from the Secret Agent badge that anyone wants to share? Did anyone have an especially fun time, or if there were any challenges? Would you recommend this badge to anyone?
I love your ideas with the laser maze with the streamers. That's super fun. What I did is I had these like pencil bags that were evidence bags. And so
Awesome.
I put different things in them. And then one was like smell me, one was taste me, one was feel me. And they all had to go around doing their guess and like deciding as a team what was in the bag. Um, and they got really excited and they thought that they had everything figured out. And then we like took everything out at the end and blew their minds. Um, but I tried to tie in because I'm a multi-level, the senses badge for the daisies or the brownies as well. So yeah, that was what we did and it was really fun. It was a good activity.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Amy.
The laser thing with the yarn, huge hit with all my troops. They absolutely loved doing that activity and creating their own pass for everyone. And it was a real nice, simple thing to do. So I loved that. My girls really liked earning that badge. I did create and had them do, I had the older girls create a scavenger hunt around the school and gave the clues to the other girls to find. And then the brownies they so wanted to do that. So the following week I let them do that and try and stump the juniors. So they really did enjoy the activities for that one for sure. So I did buy child-friendly ink pads from the store that just stained the crap out of the girls' hands. So I did learn at the first one. Friendly doesn't mean
Expo
it's gonna come
markers.
off easy. So I the parents all laughed and thought it was funny, but the girls had bright colored fingertips when we did the fingertip one. So that was kind of a lesson learned. Just because it said it was child stamping didn't mean it was going to wash off easy. So, but it was a great badge. So I would highly recommend it again. I'm going to do it with some of my traditional troops over the summer that I just didn't have time to do with it this month. But the ASLP girls loved it. And it was easy to do with multi-levels. It was the easiest one I found so far that I could spread out and make it interesting for each level of girls. So it was a good one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback. Yeah, I definitely also shared that ink did not come off, but it's fine.
Expo markers worked really well with my girls because we did like a little fingerprint patch too that they could go home with. And they had to
Oh,
identify loops, swirls, arches in their
yeah.
fingerprints. But yeah, we did washable markers and it just was crazy. And so we ended up doing expo markers and they came off really cleanly with tape.
Oh, good to
Yeah.
know. I'll definitely have that for next time. Okay, let's move along. So after this week, we are going to be beginning the Hawaiian Myth and Legends badge. I've been really excited to start this one. So the main components of the badge I just wanted to quickly lay out here is you want to have a discover portion where they learn about what myth and legends mean and especially learn a historical native Hawaiian legend. The second component is connect, comparing stories from modern tales, such as a comic book or a fantasy story. A great example I can give you is have them compare Elsa to the Hawaiian goddess Poliahu. And then take action, have girls create their own legend story or mythical creature. So I laid out some examples. Feel free to use the books provided by your island coordinator, or there are some great books at your library that you can borrow at no cost. Is perfectly great too. For the take action in making your own myth and legend, I did find a printable that has these different parts of wings and tails and claws and then I going to use my own magazines that I've been collecting for girls, basically make a collage mythical creature, cut and paste style. We went over this a bit, I think last month, so I'm going to touch lightly, and I'm considering the other activity if we have time, if they want to play around with, instead of Africa, you see here, you would use the island that you're on to learn about our topographic map and the mountains and hills we have on our island, and have fun with clay, because I can tell you girls always love getting to play with, if it's Play-Doh or Salto or modeling clay, they go to town on that. Okay. If you're up to it, you can also connect the mythology to our stars in the sky and look at those. They do have current sky maps for April 2024 that I found, and there's different printout star finder that you can find online that are easy to print out and have girls cut. You can just let your island coordinator know that you're interested in that activity and we can help you. And then the last one, girls always love having a craft, and I always encourage making something that the girls can take home and keep. So to go along with Hawaiian culture and how we weave lahala, and in this place we're doing the straw weaving method, and instead we're using yarn. So if you have a lot of yarn left over in the office, this would be a great time to start using it. And it's a really simple activity. I have the hyperlinked with, it has picture, directions, and a video to follow along to make it really easy to prepare for. Okay, any questions on the upcoming Hawaiian badge? Okay, go ahead, Amy. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Sorry about that. Thanks. The weaving activity with the straws, I tried to, Angela, we did that last year at ASLP, and it was very, very difficult for my daisies and my second graders. It was not an easy coordination thing, and I ended up scrapping it because the girls were getting so frustrated and it was hard to manage. So if any of you have a lot of the littler girls, I found that to be that was above their ability with their hands to manage
Oh,
on their own.
good to know.
Just
We may
yeah,
just need to make a simpler version, or you're preparing
they
it in the
just
beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
we moved it to like braiding and things and just
No, that's
simplified it. So
completely fine to do the braid
yeah,
method,
but
or
the older
just,
girls loved it.
yeah. Feel free to find a simpler activity for the daisies or set them up with the clay activity, or I did find a lot of coloring pages that I can send to everyone also to make it fun. So yeah, of course, feel free to tweak it so the little ones are still having fun, and encourage the older ones to learn the technique. Okay, just seeing anyone else. All right. Okay, we're just going to quickly go over a little reminders for our events. For Oahu, for our final ASLP grant offered event, we have a Ohana Day Camp on May 5th. So I want to remind all the Oahu advisors, trying to get those last minute girls pushed to get those spots filled, since this will be our last free event before we start again in the fall. Then we have Hawaii Island. Check in with Chelsea on the specifics. Right now, I still have April 2021 as the Barbie TLAE camp. And the event that every island advisor needs to know about is, of course, the Cookie CEO, which is May 4th at Kualoa Ranch, a secret island. And we do have Raina here today. If you happen to have questions, but I would, of course, wait till you hear more, as we're, of course, getting ready for that. Okay, take action project. So our deadline is today, if you haven't already. If not, it's just keep working. I'm experiencing some of our admins, our principals, they're probably just super busy, and I'm trying to squeeze some permission ideas out of them. I can tell you from my sites, we're doing a lot of hopscotch and a few murals and planting, so I'm very excited on that. I have the submission link. It's hyperlinked here. If you still need to submit, you can go ahead and go to that when I send out the PDF. Otherwise, if you're trying to get it immediately, contact your island supervisor to email them, and they'll be happy to just fill it out quickly. And so as I mentioned, the universally loved projects are hopscotch, planting, some making stepping stones, overall painting of a mural, or finding those faded areas that are peeling that we seem to see on every campus. So those are the basics right now. If you already got your idea, now we need to start getting those ideas if you're designing something or choosing colors and having the girls involved with options and choosing. Be sure to get that going. And otherwise, we are working on ordering supplies and getting that all situated. And of course, getting the ideas approved by the executive team. So is there anyone that needs help? Besides the people, we are still working with certain sites that we're waiting to hear back from the principals and so on. Go ahead, Amy.
If we need supplies from like Home Depot, Genevieve got her principal. She took over an ASL troop from me from last year, and we built a buddy bench, and the principal would like another buddy bench. And
Great.
I should have approval at my Wednesday meeting for one. So is that something last year, Angela just had me buy the supplies and submit the receipts to her. Can we just do that again, or do you guys order the 2x4s and we just need 2x4s? So, from Home Depot ourselves, or how do you want us to handle supplies for that? Or wait until Marissa starts on Monday and put it on Miss Marissa.
Well, what we did last year is I submitted a supply report to, I believe it was either Sherelle or Angela, and they ordered through the Girl Scout accounts. And I just went and picked it up. So it was already taken care of and paid for with them. Would you guys agree, Mia, Sherelle?
Yeah, so I believe I have the Ace Hardware account, but if there's another recommended place, Amy, you prefer to get the items from. So in the past, like what Angela would do is just send me the links and tell me how many items of each and when you want to pick it up, and then I'll put it under your name, phone number, all of that, so you can go pick it up. And that way you don't need to pay out of pocket for it. We'll have it covered through the council account.
Okay, so do you need us to do separate? Because we're gonna build the same buddy bench. So we could be building up to 3 of them. So we need and I have all the screws and everything, because it really just takes 2x4s, screws, and the paint. So one order for all of it, because I'm gonna pick up Genevieve's and pre-cut all of it when I cut mine, so that all she has to do is take it and build, like, sand it. So one order for all of it is okay. It doesn't need to be
Yes.
divided up by troop.
Yeah, one order for all's fine. Yep.
All right, yeah, and Home Depot has way better pricing than our hardware stores do here. I don't even think Ace carries wood like that here. I think Home Depot's are, besides a lumber yard, our only option.
Okay, yeah, that's
And
fine.
then,
I'll put that together and get that over to you next week.
Okay.
oh, there it is.
Yeah, go ahead, Rissa.
Okay, so my troop is painting a mural on some pretty large stairs. There's like 18 steps total, like literally 1 step per girl. It's gonna be fantastic. The girls decided like last minute that they wanted to actually do like a optical illusion, and I was like, do I have time to teach you guys perspective? I don't know. I don't think so. Long story short, if I were to get a supply list and say maybe go into Home Depot and Ace and see if they're willing to donate any paint, is that something we can do as a troop?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Because I know we probably want to use more of our budget for our end of year party. And And I know that kind of comes out of both. So just trying to use our budget wisely.
Sometimes Home Depot has oops paint that somebody got mixed up and then they decided they didn't like it and they'll sell it for kind of cheap. I don't know if they still do that anymore. But, and then sometimes from Sherwin-Williams, you can get some colorants in the squeeze tube. It's a little expensive, but then you can make your own colors with the oops paint.
Thank you. That helps a lot.
Awesome. Just let us know if there's anything you need. Start sending in your supplies. I myself are mainly working with Oahu, pre-planning to, especially we have a lot of hopscotch and mural, so I'm personally buying a lot of paint myself too. Okay. I think on the agenda I put end of year party, but I actually want to talk about the end of year survey because the party is pretty straightforward and we could talk about in the beginning of next month. So end of year survey, it is that time. This is one of the most important parts of our program is finding out how the girls liked it. So I'm making it due May 17th. And it's as usual for every year, it's for girls brownie, so second grade and older. And you have the link right there. For the 2024 ASLP survey. I highly recommend doing the printed version instead of trying to bring tablets. That works best for me. So providing printouts and pencils, getting it in the beginning of the meeting to just get them to fill it out and be done with it. And the second tip is you want to explain the survey a little bit in the beginning so they know what they're expecting. So you're going to see that there's questions that are before Girl Scouts and then after Girl Scouts. So you want to explain to them that it's not asking the same question twice. And then, of course, if they have questions, what do certain words mean? You can go over that with them. And the only thing they don't want you to do is give them an answer and tell them, just put this. That's the last thing they want you to do. Don't do it at all. Otherwise, just get that in your next 2 or so troop meetings. Get them. If you have some girls absent one day, just mark it so you know to give it to them next time to fill it out. And otherwise, you should be able to get it done pretty fast. Give it to your island coordinator so that we can get it all scanned in and over to our data analyst. Okay, so before we go into cookies, that's all programs and ASLP. Is there any questions before we move on? All right. Raina, do you want to take the floor or do you want me to read it over?
Yeah, sure, I got it.
Thanks.
Hello everyone. Sorry, I'm multitasking. But anyway, just wanted to check in. I know cookies is over. It's already been 2 weeks, but just want to check in. I know everyone ended in a really good place with their inventory and reconciling everything and getting all rewards in. I know particularly for Oahu troops. There's still some Girl Scouts that have outstanding payments. For the most part, I think if not everyone, they've at least got a plan for submitting the rest of their money. And then if kind of the days go by and we still don't see anything or any movement, we'll then follow back up with the families. Make sure to check in with Girl Scouts on a job well done and check in and talk to them about the skills that they learned. It was really exciting to hear all the really mission moments throughout the season. So that's exciting. CEO Girl Scouts. So this was more like a past kind of thing because our deadline has already passed for CEO registration. But for those who sold 850 or more packages of cookies, directly receive the invitation to RSVP to our Cookie CEO event on May 4th. And it'll be at Kualoa Ranch, so we'll do the Hollywood tour and then make our way over to Secret Island, so it'll be super fun. And then rewards will arrive to council mid-May. So for all islands, your rewards will come directly to either us on Oahu or to your respective service centers. And so if you're on Oahu, connect with Mia. If you're on another neighbor island, please connect with your neighbor island manager. Marissa, you'll have the fun duty of doing all of that and connecting with your troops. But yes, we'll have all of the rewards arrive in mid-May, hopefully in time for before school comes to a close. Okay, go ahead. And this is just the final thank you. I'm so grateful for all of you. I feel like I got to know or got to work with each of you a lot more this year. And you're all just phenomenal. And I'm so grateful that you're a part of the team. We wouldn't be able to do cookies and really fulfill our mission without people like you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really just such a pleasure to get to work with you all. So I just wanted to be on here today to say hello and see you later, because I probably won't talk to many of you for another year. So just thank you for all of your work. And if there's ever anything you want to reach out to me about, my door's always open. Not just cookies, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. So thank you for all that you do.
Okay, our next meeting is going to be May 6th, so we'll have that tentative now that I realize that's right after Cookie CEO. So we'll see how we're feeling after a long weekend, especially the staff members who are going to be flying from the neighbor islands with their Cookie CEOs. Okay, so any last questions before we depart for the day? We actually got done pretty fast with 6:30 on the dot. All right, well, you can always connect with me over. Oh, Amy, you have a question or comment? Oh, no, sorry, I thought you were. She's waving by. Okay, great. All right, we're all done then. You can go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening. And what I was about to say is you can always send one of us an email if you have more questions for anything that we discussed. Bye.